Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Khalilah Johnson, author of Undefeated, Broken into Purpose. Khalilah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Paul.
Are you ready to get started?
I surely am.
All right, question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
The very important thing that wasn't told to me, but it still worked, but pitch your ideas first. I think it's so important. I think we come up with an idea and then we just want to start writing, but it's very important that you pitch out your ideas, whether it's to a beta group, even a publishing company. Write an outline, Facebook Lives on the subject, and make sure that there is an audience that wants what you are writing about.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, my situation was a little different. I was offered to be published after sharing my life testimony. I think the hardest part was that they wanted to change my story to fit an agenda. And I now have learned the hardest part now is that you must also show that there's a social presence and a following built already around your message. So those are the hardest things that I think for me.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Well, when I first launched my book, I just shared my message through speaking engagements. I started 3 online talk shows online. Actually, I was approached for them, and so that gave me an audience. I also used the people that I already were connected to, such as the church that I went to. I spoke at schools, and they helped me pass the message. And that was one of the things that I did as far as marketing. Now I'm working on relaunching, and I am utilizing social media so much more. I'm doing Facebook Lives even more so than I did before around the message. I also am using different funnels to, I'm creating them now in order to offer other things, such as a course. I'm creating a course around my book, and that also helps to bring my audience through a process. And so that helps a lot.
Now, you mentioned talk shows. Are you talking about podcasts or a different format?
Well, online shows, it was online. Now it's podcasts. They of course can be used in podcasts, but then it was just online radio shows, which were global. They were, you can start an online broadcasting. It's very similar to podcasting, but it's some of them were live. Some of the platforms were just live, and they could just go out. And so, yeah, it's pretty similar to podcasting, but it's one of my audiences were very large, and they were able to go on, global from online shows. So, yes.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
My favorite book is The Necessity of an Enemy, and this is by Ron Carpenter Jr. The reason why I love this book so much is because I learned how important having the right perspective of your hardships are. Knowing the battle shapes your character, and that's a powerful message from that book that I learned, because all of us have faced some level of hardships, and the important part to always take away from that is how you how you look at that, and how you know that you've grown from that is to be able to know that if it did not break you, you've learned something from it. And so that's why I love that book so much.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Well, my favorite quote is one of my own quotes. It's, "Today I heal from yesterday to change my tomorrow." It simply is a reminder that yesterday's challenges must be confronted and dealt with to have a successful future. And we have a choice in how we respond, even to the things that weren't our fault.
Excellent. Well, Khalilah, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Well, I'm so thankful for having me on your show, Paul. And the best way to find me is at KhalilahJohnson.com.
Khalilah, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so very much. Have a great day.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.